So I had a request in the forum regarding an extension called Session Keeper. If you haven't, if you haven't seen Session Keeper, if you're just perusing my YouTube videos and you haven't seen Session Keeper, it's pretty cool. It has a built-in keep alive for certain groups, for whatever groups you configure here in the keep alive groups, and then you have an optional session warning so that before a user times out, and I don't know if you've been logged into the site and you walk away to go grab a soda or something, you come back and you think you're still in the middle of editing something, but you're actually timed out, and you hit save and it tells you you're not logged in, you lost all your work and everything sucks, right? So what this does is it pops up a big warning message that your session is about to die and gives you a countdown timer and all that stuff. You'll see it here in a second. But the reason that he contacted me in the forum was that a change that I made in the latest version removed the squeeze box modal in favor of bootstrap modal, which affected him adversely because his template does not run bootstrap, and he would still like to have the messages. Now, this person is a non-programmer, so my solution actually was not going to be all that great for him because I wasn't going to remove the bootstrap modal. What I decided to do was add a something I'm calling trigger document event. What it is it creates a JavaScript event that fires upon the criteria being met. So a user remains idle for a period of time, and when they reach the advanced warning interval here, it pops up a message to tell them, well, pardon me, the trigger document event triggers a message so that your software can pop up a warning and tell them that their session is about to expire. Or once that timeout period has elapsed, then it will pop up this expired message to tell them that their session has expired. And optionally, you can access the redirect destination and send them to that destination after they acknowledge that they expired. So what the way that this helps him out is that in fact I'm gonna get this started here. I'm gonna go ahead and log in to my sandbox and let this sit idle for 1 minute. That's the amount of time that it's going to take for the message to pop up. So anyway, the way that this helps him is that he will no longer have to rely on the bootstrap modal. Now, as I said, he's a non-programmer, so handing him a JavaScript event is not really doing him any favors. So what I've done is I'm creating a reference implementation of a modal window that is non-bootstrap. It actually comes from the W3 Schools demo here. I wanted to find a super simple modal window, and this one is super simple. The reason I wanted it super simple is so that it will not interfere with any other template type. And I modified all the CSS selectors and added a few others so that I can achieve what I've got here. And I know the colors are ugly, but this is testing. I'll have this released here shortly. But the reference implementation is for people like him who need a way out of the bootstrap modal and would have an easier time by only needing to customize some of the CSS, change the colors, maybe add a couple class names to jazz up the buttons or something. So the reason I'm doing the reference implementation is for the non-programmers, but also to provide an example for the people who are programmers so that they can see what it takes to access the variables necessary to achieve something like this. Because all the variables that are loaded in this pop-up in this modal are the same variables that are used in the bootstrap modal. I've exposed them all so that they can all be accessed via your own JavaScript. So while this is counting down here, I'm going to bring up the console, the IDE. Now in this reference implementation, a good half of it, all the way down to here, 89 lines of it, is all set up for the modal. That's just a class that I created to handle the opening and closing and setup of the modal, because this actually creates two modals. This is the warning class, and this is the expired class, and this is the setup for the warning event, and this is the setup for the expired event. It's really not a tremendous amount of code. I mean, really, it's, you know, lines 90 through 169, 70 lines of code, 80 lines of code in order to achieve the modal that I've got up here. If you're bringing your own modal windows that are part of your template, you could do this in a lot less code. I wanted to do one here that pulls from all of the available data, so that you can achieve something like this. So the countdown timer, all that is the session keeper JavaScript. The countdown percentage, session keeper JavaScript. The text of this modal comes from session keeper. The text of the buttons comes from session keeper. All of the stuff that happens in this comes from the original plugin code, but has been exposed so that you can get to it with your own code. So I'm stalling. I needed to kill 4 minutes so that I could let this thing time out on its own without me, forcing it or manipulating anything. Now, like the original, if you hit renew, it's going to send a AJAX request to renew the session. It hides the window, resets the timers. It'll pop up in another time if you sit idle long enough. Cancel, closes this window, and then at that point you're waiting for the expired message to show up, because this won't show up again. Let's let this thing happen. That goes away, and it gives you you've been idle too long, your session is expired, please log in again. And like the original modals, if you close this window, it sends you to the redirect destination if it's set. And that's pretty much it. That is the newest version of Session Keeper. Once I finalize testing and get the release ready, you're going to see this on Richie Web, and it's still just as free as it always was.